Alrighty, this time I actually remembered to hit the live button, Jay. I achieved it. This time I didn't mess
Yay.
up. Hello, everybody. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. It's a Monday stream. How strange. It's different. How y'all doing? All right, so for everybody here first time, I'm Rob Barefoot. I'm the media ambassador here for Artalsorian Games, and I'm here this time with Jay Gray. Jay is our Cyberpunk line lead. He's the one who handles everything Cyberpunk. If y'all don't know him, trust me, you have read something by him, especially if it's been with Cyberpunk Red. How you doing today, Jay? Doing good, buddy? Oh yeah, I'm caffeinated and hopefully hydrated soon because I managed to get the water this time. You know, it's been a good little start to the week. Oh, I see a James Hutton chat. This is an interesting switch in dynamic. So, oh, I thought I turned off chat. So guys, I'm gonna do y'all a little favor here. Let me go ahead and just poof this and poof this. I'm gonna move some stuff around. Give y'all your own spot while we go through this because your normal spot is now being taken up by the DLC. Now, I highly suggest y'all stick... Oh, Jay is muted? No, he's not. 1 second. On it. I think I know what's up. On it. Because you were definitely speaking a bit ago.
I am still speaking. This is me speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Rob can hear me. Can everyone else hear me? Hello?
Yeah, they can hear you now. For some reason, after I switched over the scene, it just muted you. That made no sense. All right, but you're working now. I can see it. I can see it. I know he's working now.
Good.
I see the sliders. But yeah.
Excellent.
You can repeat what you told me a second ago, and
I
about how your week started.
don't remember. It's okay.
You were saying it's been a good start to the week. A new
We're late.
kind
Let's
of
go.
work. We are not that late. I was totally not with something. So, what this is, everybody, as I still make sure chat lines up, we're doing something just a little bit different today, and I highly suggest sticking around to the end. So, when it came to the Rockerboy DLC, at least the Rockerboy Index DLC, when you started to kick this off, it started out just being a list. You were just wanting to see what was what and where, and it kind of bloomed from that. And people didn't really understand how deep you went in with the research of it. So starting at least with this month, if we do this like once a month, this will be solid for the DLC. But I want folks to really see how far back you went in and digging some of this stuff up. Like, you didn't even only just go back to the 2013 scene. You went to 2012, if I remember right, for Cyberpunk.
So yes, it started off with a simple thing, working on the Night City book for 2045 for Cyberpunk Red, and I was thinking, you know, back in the day we used to do these little things, you know, lists, you know.
Uh-oh. Oh, did we lose him?
It's like, here's the top 10 lists that we'd already mentioned, and so I started making a spreadsheet, and then I was like, well, and this is all explained in the forward to the DLC. I was like, well, why stop at all the stuff we've introduced in Cyberpunk Red? Why not get everybody? And so I own physical copies of every Cyberpunk product. I am fortunate enough to do that. My job lets me do that. I was able to pull some stuff home from the office that was hidden in deep, dark corners of the office. And
I've stolen one too, I'll admit it.
Yeah, and I just started going through them and making lists, and every artist, every song, everywhere I could find, and that is how this came about. And it wasn't just make the list. In a lot of cases, it was fill in, because we had some art. You have some artists, they get entire articles. Blood and Ice, for example, first shows up in the Cyberpunk box set for the first edition of Cyberpunk, otherwise known as Cyberpunk 2013. And there's lots of more about Blood and Ice. But then you have other artists, and it's literally just a name. That's it. Just a name. And so I was like, no one's going in here if they're not getting at least one single and a little bit of lore. So I wrote lore. I wrote singles. When it came to a few bands where I had a name but nothing else, I went to their creators and I said, give me titles. And James Hutt, bless him, will come back with like a list of 30 songs done by a band he mentioned offhand once in a DLC. And I said, well, I'm going to cut that down to 5 or 6 and make it an album. And so you'll see at the beginning, you'll see names, you'll see additional material by James Hood and Rob Barefoot, and thanks to Alex Sutton, Amelia, Fernando, James. So basically, I went to CDPR. I went to the creator of Nox, Nora Ibrahim, who she created Nox for a actual play. Mike ran and said, "Give me some song titles for Nox." I went to Amelia over at CDPR, and I said, "I would like some song titles for the character of Lilia, who you helped us make." And she was kind enough to give me a few. And I went to James Portnow, who's working on Night City Legends, the upcoming card game. And he said, "Oh, yeah, I've got a couple of bands we're going to introduce in that card game." I was like, "Great. They're active in 2012. Give me their names. Give me their music genre. Give me a little bit of lore about them. Give me some names of songs." And they are in here too. And then I put it all together into this giant 26-page document. It could have been longer, but I kept it brief because it is a DLC. Yeah, and by the time I was done, I was exhausted.
You could have turned this thing into almost something the size of Wildside from how much you were digging up. And so, a little backstory too here on my part. I'm driving an hour to the airport, and I start getting texts from Jay as we're preparing to fly over to Seattle. And he's like, "Give me song names." And I just kind of stopped because I was in that stupor of having not slept the entire night before, making sure everything was ready. And I just start spitting stuff out. And prior to it, we were already talking. And the reason why I brought up the unique musical genres is because the more you dig into music genres, because a little backstory on me, I initially went to college for recording arts. So I have a background in music business and things like that. And it gets funny because when you really look at genres, you realize how little the genres make sense. Like, it's ridiculous. I can make fun of music genres all day long. And like, so here we went with like chip wave, chromatic rock, and chromatic metal. Like, that's always the quintessential, like, what is cyberpunk music? And we refer to that. And so like here with chromatic rock, we're like a blend of the angry voice of punk, the power of metal, and electronic instrumentation of post-disco pop. You read that and you're like, what the hell's post-disco pop? So I almost want to put you through the ringer for some of these descriptions because they're fun.
Literally pop of the early 80s, then the post-disco era. That's all I meant. So yes, corporate pop, grind tech, and tech noise come from 2020 and 2013. Chromatic rock, of course, is what Johnny plays, and that's the first mention of that, chromatic or chrome rock. The tech noise is it's first really defined in Wildside, and I'll be honest, I forget where grind tech comes from. I think grind tech may come from, no, I don't know. Anyway, I do know it's from one of the 2020 books. I'm just forgetting which one off the top of my head. Cyber grunge was defined by Amelia when she created Elia. She said it's cyber grunge, and I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And corporate pop, just over and over again in the 2020 books, this is just corporate pop drivel. And I was like, oh, corporate pop is literally anything made by corporations. And we all know a corporate. It doesn't matter what the actual genre is, it's corporate pop. Chipwave is new. Just a couple of bands really worked for it. And so it's essentially something I created for this DLC based on some bands that we already had. So they're all, but they are absolutely, and Rob, you are right. As I was working on this, there were so many crossovers. It's like when you hear a description of a review of an album, right? It says this is black metal death noise with Rastafarian roots, and it's like by the time they're done, they spend a paragraph describing the genre, and it's like it's just music, dude. But I had to put genres in all of these, and a lot of them were very crossover genres, and a lot of them were like, oh, I could call it this, but the book calls it this, so I'm going to call it this.
Yeah, I can straight up point out that chipwave, thinking back to, like, as it says here, nostalgic evolution of tech noise using samples of early video games and electronica as a seed. When you look back at some early chip music, God, what was it? I used to watch this wonderful channel called Fact Fiend, and the guy, Carl, I think it's Carl Smallwood, I think that's what his name is, best last name ever. He talks about chip tunes, and specifically he points back to one of the Marvel video games back in the day of Silver Surfer, and he goes, he's never heard any chiptunes hit as hard as that. And you've got like electric slides and all kinds of stuff with people, like it's full on power metal in chiptune form. So I could see that as chipwave, 100%.
Yeah, and so if you go to Wildside, you'll find a sidebar on tech noise. Chiptune is just chipwave is a evolution of tech noise. It is more computer generated, but going back to its roots. Why don't we take computer generated music, feed it in to create more computer generated music?
And I gotta show some love too to Amelia. I know her love for grunge, and to actually have cyber grunge, I love her for that. By the way, if you're seeing this, Amelia, I love you for that. I still love you for actually making that as fully canon as possible. And me wearing plaid today has nothing to do with it. I just realized that's complete simpson. So when it also comes down to the actual artists themselves, though, you had fun. Like, access denied. I'm going to say most of them, they're obscure to me. And while like my research into 2020 has been, you know, right now I've gotten through my full entire first read through. Going back and like deep researching, you always find so many different pops here. Is there any specific one you want me to pull up here that people may not even expect? Like Alienation Incorporated, which, hold on. Alien Nation? Is that a reference to the
Alien
movie?
Nation? I don't know. Alienation Incorporated was mentioned. I want to say he first Rockerboy. No, 2014. Yeah, Rockerboy. Nope. It was first mentioned in, I believe, Home of the Brave, but I'm not completely sure. I see. There's so many of them I get my. It may have been mentioned briefly in. The point is one of the books. It doesn't really mention the band or what the band is. They just mentioned that speed metal thrash. This was just about. This actually may have been in. Yes, this actually was in Rockerboy. There's an article. I got a thing popped up. It says I can add effects using hand gestures. Whoops.
Oh god.
Because I spoke with my hands. There's an article on basically how to avoid getting screwed over by your label or your agent, and it mentions that Speed Metal Flash was the drummer of Alienation Inc. He was kidnapped, and his hands were broke by a sledgehammer. And so I made up a single. I made up what the band was. I cited a thing, but that's all I had. That's literally all I had, and that was honestly more than I had in a lot of cases. I had there are some bands like a lot of them came from like in Home of the Brave. There's a top 10 list of top 10 most popular songs of 2020, and a lot of them is just literally a name of an artist, a name of a song. Doesn't tell you anything about them. Rockerboy was great because Rockerboy, for the most part, outside of that one article where they'll say this bad thing happened to this artist, they'll say like they have like music reviews, and so I have reviews to pull from this what it's like, and that was really useful. In other cases, I had like nothing. I had absolutely nothing. In some cases I only had a name. I didn't even know what music they did. I didn't know what kind of Bridget Bash is a good example. Bridget Bash first shows up in Rockerboy, and Bridget Bash is mentioned that she is marrying a movie star. That's all it says to her about her. And then later on, James Hutt makes a offhand reference to Bridget Bash playing in the Slammer. He mentions this in the opening fiction for Fists of Fury, Cyber Fury. And so I had to fill in the blankets, like how'd she go from being a tabloid rock star to playing the Slammer? And I decided, well, she got cancer. She got upgraded to an FBC, and when she became an FBC, she's like, oh, I'm not playing the publicity game anymore. I'm just making some heavy metal, because that's where my true passion lies. But yeah, there's a band called Brown Fox. All that I know about Brown Fox is that they're recording at a Chemetz in Germany, and Rage Moss likes them.
Yep. Like I'm sitting here looking at them right now. We have Chaos Stage, Ostpunk, Plastic Grenade, and Scumfuck.
All named after magazines dedicated to German punk.
That's actually really cool. I did not know that. That's where we got those names from. Because see, my main input in this has just been breakfast.
Yeah. I had to make up song titles, and I was looking into the German punk scene, and they had some really cool fanzines back in the day, and I was like, I'm gonna not name them directly after these fanzines because I don't know what their copyright status is, but I am gonna give shout outs to them in the naming because it deserves it. The German punk scene's really cool.
Yeah, and I also dig when we actually made the album cover for Bridget Bash, we just got to straight up show, the Dragoon again cleaving through a car. It was too good to not be something on a cover.
Oh yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. That's one of Bridget's bodies she enjoys. Sometimes she wants to break out the heavy body.
It shows where her money went, and it also can.
Absolutely.
If you're playing at Slammer, pop up at something that big.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm digging through some of these because we have ones at Little, and I saw a question that I was going to bring this up later on.
Sure, ask him.
It was from Rope Sita. Is there any chance of getting a Euro Tour-like campaign, but in the time of the Red? I was going to bring up Euro Tour, and oh God, of course, his name escapes me to the tip of my tongue, but he's the most documented rocker boy outside of Johnny, basically, from 2020.
Jack Entropy.
Yeah, Entropy, thank you. Oh my God, that was on my tongue. And let me pull up his section.
Is we have a lot of information about Jack because you spent an entire adventure. So the answer is no, probably not. We're probably not going to do a Euro. We're not going to retread a tread we've already treaded. I can't say no for sure, but probably not. That was an adventure we've done, and it's not an adventure we're going to do again. Yeah, but yes, Jack Entropy Inkerman, otherwise known as Jack Entropy, we know a lot about. I believe I only list one of his albums, but all the songs, most of those songs are from that adventure. Several other bands pop up in that adventure here and there. They're mentioned. They made their way into here. There was a lot of fun digging into that. I made an album cover for Jack Entropy, and I took the cover from part of the cover from Euro Tour and used that as the cover. It's on page 8. It's a great piece of art for his Loveless Eyes album. Jack is great, and so I give Jack the credit he deserves. That he's and I specifically call it. See if Johnny Silverhand were the chromatic music messiahs of the 2010s, Jack Entropy was the 2020 Second Coming. That's, if I may, to my own horn, that is a great line, and I love it. I'm so glad I wrote that. I was really inspired when I did.
And I gotta say too, retreading old adventures is always fun, but I honestly think I would leave that up to people themselves to run back through, because it's playing in someone said this, I think it was on Reddit, that they not only viewed Red as just a rule set, but also as a setting in itself, and nothing really stops them from playing with the Red rules in 2020, or playing the 2020 setting, playing with 2020 rules in Red. And so running Euro Tour, you can dive in with it. It does take conversion, but when in doubt, rip it out, as I like to say. I have no problem tearing things apart and putting in what I need, so shouldn't be afraid to do that. It's a good
it's work,
fucking session,
but though. It will be also good GM training to take, and you'll understand adventure design much better if you work through it and convert it.
Mm-hmm. And you're digging through. We got 40, of course.
40 shows up, which is nice. For Adam Door's daughter.
Let's see.
So it's fun. So you have little things. For example, there is DSE, I believe. Yeah, DSE, Death, Sex, Eternity. First show up in Edgerunners Incorporated. They are one of the jobs you can get. There's a bunch of Scream Sheet style jobs in the back of the book, and Death, Sex, Eternity was there. And I had to invent song titles for them. That was a lot of fun. To just what is a self-destructive all-female chromatic rock band named there.
I think he's going through
yeah.
some weather issues. That's the reason why he keeps cutting out. But he's here. He's here with us. I've not lost him yet. I hope I don't lose him.
Am I still here?
Yep, there you go. Yeah, it was a little bit wavering right there for a second, but you're with us again.
So here, give me a second. I'm gonna pop to. I might vanish for a second.
All right, I'm gonna close your camera there for a second, just in case. I don't want them to see the secrets of what's getting announced before we announce it.
Testing 1 2 3.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I switch over from Wi-Fi to my cell, my data.
Gotcha.
So hopefully that'll fix it. Everyone is home today, so the Wi-Fi it's all being used. So
yeah.
I apologize if people lost me.
Oh, you're good. You're still with us. And I had backup plans. For the record, there is something at the end of this stream, everyone. Hoping you're sticking around for it. I'm not going to say this. I'm going to keep, sneaking around the truth of it. There's no reason to keep it hidden or not for now, but I'm going to hide it for now.
So, in order of, more groups came out of Rockerboy than anywhere else. And then I believe Home of the Brave is next. And then Rough Guide to the UK. And some from Live and Direct. But I found them in the weirdest places. Like I found a band mentioned as an example in Listen Up, Be Primitive Screwheads. Like, okay, they go in.
Remember you talking about that. You said that, and even I kind of double taked. I'm like, that was in there?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but it was. Roxanne, for example, is featured once as a pre-generated character in the adventure When the Chips Are Down. And the adventure that came with the data screen, the Cyberpunk Red GM screen, or Cyberpunk 2020 GM screen. Stand for Your World by the Silver Slash. Silver Slash shows up in the Night City sourcebook, and I don't think they show up anywhere else. Somehow their album was important enough to inspire an entire game to exist, but they are not mentioned anywhere else.
Now, one I want to bring up, where is Nox? Because Nora Ibrahim, I know she put her stuff in. I do want to take a peek.
Yes. So, if anyone has watched the Acquisitions Incorporated Cyberpunk Red actual play, in which Nora played Nox's daughter, throughout the entire game, anytime someone said something stupid, she wrote down that something. And she said, these are all song titles. And what she did is I said, Nora, can you give me some song titles? So she just sent me pictures of her, like 5 pages of stupid song titles. And I picked like 5 of them. And Trauma Kit for My Soul is my favorite one.
I remember, like, anytime you see your players jotting stuff down, it doesn't always necessarily mean they're taking notes about what's, you need to remember this. No, you got to remember the good stuff for later. And it became such a cool thing. Like, we just tapped, like, anytime someone has done something with us, we don't really ever leave you alone. Let's put it that way. Like, we like to reach back out and get people re-involved in stuff. Like, I have intent to talk to Table Story again for things with Shadow Scar. I can't talk about that yet. Not with the Shadow Scar, but something else I was going to say. But being able just to call up and say, hey, what else would your character be doing in this time? If we can incorporate you into stuff, we're going to. And being able to do that with Amelia and Nora has just been so cool to tap into for this. Ooh.
It's been fun. It has been absolutely, it's fun. And it adds a voice to those characters, which is important.
Yeah, because the one thing about Cyberpunk that is the best part, in my opinion, is it's a living world. It has to feel lived in. And I think that's one of the charms, like, whenever you can really pull that out and having things still progressing. Like, I mean, Nox and now Nox's daughter. You see time progress. It's always been a thing people dig. Now, let's see here.
I dig it.
I dig it. Now, we have about 15 minutes left, Jay.
Okay.
Do we want to keep digging through this? Or should we talk about...
Let's see, does the chat have questions? If the chat has questions...
Oh, that's right. I didn't even ask you guys that. I'm so sorry. I got so wrapped up in talking this. I'll talk yours off. Is there any questions y'all have about any bands or anything like that, or around this DLC in general? Because when we say that we dug in deep, Well, correction. He dug in deep. I'm just getting here to talk. A lack of funk.
I'm happy to go to 5:15 because we started late.
Okay, cool. So then that means at 5 we'll talk about other stuff and things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From Rex. Hey, Rex, I'm looking forward to seeing you at Gen Con, dude. Notice a lack of funk in the DLC. Has Night City lost its groove?
Is there a lack of funk? I could have sworn I had at least one funk band in there. The answer is no. I actually personally have a great love of funk, and probably what
blues.
is. Yeah, we don't have funk crosses over with so many genres that you can assume that some of these bands are also funk bands, and it could very well be that as I was making it, I don't want to do bad things to a funk band. I can't imagine. And there's bad things happening to most of these bands.
Question.
But no, that is an accident. There should be there are funk bands. There's every genre in Cyberpunk, and I just didn't include a funk band this time around.
Question. Filk.
What is Filk? You want to know what Filk is?
Because I'm like, is that just the funk there? I'm trying to find the funk right now.
No. Filk and funk are two different things. Filk is nerd pop. Basically, nerds take an existing song and they rewrite the lyrics to using stuff from shows. So sometimes they do new things. So for example, out there somewhere is Mike singing Filk. If you can find it, do some research. You can find Google some Mike Pondsmith Filk, and you will find YouTube videos of Mike singing.
I've heard it. I've actually come across it. I've heard it. I think someone posted it in the Discord, and everyone was like, "That isn't Mike." I know that's Mike.
Yeah. It started off with just basically parody covers of existing songs, but over time it also came to be new music too. Same way that Weird Al doesn't just do parody; he does his own original stuff too.
Yeah, we got jazz in here. Sean Prunka asks, "How many genres of music even exist?" There's no way to quantify that. There's zero way. You can make up stuff on the fly and count it as a music genre. I'm not joking.
Yeah, tomorrow,
none of it makes.
Tomorrow you could put out an album and say my album is because it's like the nerdcore is a thing now, and we would have called that Filk back in the day. And
math rock now is a thing.
Math rock
is a progression of what was originally started with power metal. Don't get me going.
No, the point is people had music is by itself inherently unquantifiable, but we have a need to quantify it, so we do. For example, there's something called Work Shack Blues in this Rockerboy Next Platinum.
I saw that. When I was mentioning blues, I was like, that's there.
Yeah, Work Shack Blues is a form of blues that is unique to the High Riders, or at least started off with the High Riders. It was blues adapted to the unique cultural phenomenon that is people living in space.
I've had someone ask here if Slurm 39 was a Futurama reference. I don't know that one, but I have a feeling this one came around before Futurama was a thing.
Slurm?
Yeah, it is Slurm 39.
Yes, no. Slurm 39. No, Slurm 39 predates Futurama.
Yeah.
Euro Rock. Slurm 39 was most likely mentioned in Eurosource Plus. They were a Euro rock band. That was yes, and Slurm 39 was specifically mentioned as a band that had their concerts turned into riots.
Now this is gonna actually immediately catch my attention because I see the reference with Sweeney, the most smooth voice. What are you doing?
Being old.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sweeney.
Yeah, Sweeney's. The moment I see this, my first immediate thought is Sweeney Todd due to the cannibalism allegations. That was my first thought seeing Sweeney. I have a gut feeling that's what that maybe called back to. Or am I wrong?
So, you are right in that I put that joke in there. Sweeney in the original, which I believe comes from Rough Guide to the UK, but I'm not 100% certain. Oh, no. Sweeney might come from Wildside. Or I apologize to everyone. I have a spreadsheet and I don't have it open.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, I remember Sweeney. I had Sweeney as a person and mentioning they were like mellow voiced. So yeah, but probably Rough Guide to the UK. And that was all. And I was like, well, if it's Sweeney, and Sweeney Todd existed long before Sweeney Todd got popular in this century. Sweeney Todd, going back to the original Angela Lansbury version. And of course, Sweeney Todd, the story predates that. But point being is that while no specific reference was made to cannibalism, and it could have been a joke of some other kind, I included a cannibalism joke because how could I not?
The moment I saw it, I had to laugh. I had to laugh because I'm going to think of the crooning that came out, of course, the movie with Johnny Depp and all them, and I'm like, that makes sense. That lines up, possibly even with the bad hair.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. We got Takako Oyama. Take Your Best Shot. TYBS there. Okay. This one was for James, if I remember right. TYBS. That's the James
James
one?
created. Yep. James Hutt created TYBS for 12 Days of Cutimus, and was kind enough to, give me several songs, which we put in here, and the name of all the band members, and yeah, it was just literally what if you took a J-pop idol group and you took an American boy band and you made them kiss, and 1,000 fan fictions were written.
So this is a question I've seen come up in the Discord, and this is a good time to answer it too, because I see how some people. I keep playing with my light remote. Forgive me. I keep messing around with this thing. It's just a fidgety habit. So Al asks, is Kira Hart a stand-in for Kira Miki? Did you do something to include with Sukeban Games to include her? I knew that was going to come up.
Let me make this clear. So we did Mixing Drinks, Changing Lives, the DLC, crossover DLC with Valhalla. Fernando has become a friend. Fernando is actually working right now on or not right now, but he was working on he did writing on the Night City book. His section is done. He is the writer on the Santo Domingo section of the book. So we are, we're good friends now with Sukuban. And as I was doing it, I was like, well, I can't include Kira Miki. But I can include a stand-in. So yes, Kira.
There she is. Better.
With a heart. Kira Hart, or Kira Lesson 3, if you prefer. I specifically made it a text emoji as opposed to an emoji, a graphic emoji. Is a stand-in for Kira Miki, and her 3 singles are takes on Kira Miki's songs as presented beautifully and wonderfully in Valhalla.
Yeah, that I had a feeling that was gonna be the ones that did pop up, and yeah, it's been like it's no secret. I've wrote for Edgerunners Guide to Night City as well, and being alongside people who've wrote things that big, with him being involved with Valhalla, I'm just kind of serious. Like, how is my pleb tail working in all this? But yeah,
you don't need to worry about that. That's my job.
I know.
My job is to make it all good.
I know.
And you did fine.
So
you bring the unique experience of Pacifica is essentially Orlando, and you have lived in Orlando, and none of us have.
Yeah, it's Orlando in hell.
Yes.
Almost went back to it. May not be. May have a new perspective soon. We'll see, but I won't talk about that. One thing I did want to bring up, because someone did ask this in the Discord. Kid Rock. Okay. KIDROK. Someone asked if that's a reference to Kid Rock, and I can go ahead and let you go with this one. Yeah.
So, okay. The answer is, okay, so I went back and looked this up. Kid Rock comes from Home of the Brave, and what they're talking about the history of music, and they first talk about music and brain dances. Kid Rock is my guess, not a reference to Kid Rock, though I will say that I went back and looked up, and Kid Rock, the artist, does predate the publishing of that book. But my guess is Kid Rock was a offhanded reference to Kids Bop, which was a CD series where they would take popular pop songs and have kids and rejigger them so they were completely family friendly, and then have kids sing them. And so my guess is, I don't know for sure, that it's a reference to that, if it's a reference to anything. But Kid Rock, no, it's not a reference, because Kid Rock was supposed to be this literally a kid, and I think I left that out, which helps not, but literally like a 12 or 13-year-old genius who recorded the first Braindance song, which and it was, or at least it was the first one that was released, and so that was, yeah, it's a reference to the fact that it's a rock song in Braindance done by a kid, and that's it. There's no reference to the artist whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm gonna point something out about those Kid Bop days. If you ever want to see how absolutely corpo that stuff got in the most hilarious way, so there was a one-hit wonder, early 2000s, Mambo Number 5, that was redone for Disney by the singer, and it was, listening to that thing is like a fever dream. But if you want an idea of how those went, you give that a Google, give that a listen, and then imagine that for 18 minutes with a nightmare scene in between it. Which the 33 second... Go ahead.
It's a little known fact that Rob was in fact a performer on the last Kid Bop CD.
Don't bring that up. You're gonna believe that. Don't invent lore for me. I'm not canon.
Track down the music videos, you'll find them.
Please God, no. Funny enough, I actually knew people who were on Kids Incorporated with like Britney Spears and them.
You're thinking of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Kids Incorporated was a different show and a very good one. I know for its concept, and I liked it.
And now I had worked on both.
Stuck in my head all day. Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome. Yeah,
and the problem is I don't remember the chorus.
It's weird to say that I used to work with family members of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and people who still had Britney Spears' phone number in their phone just to like call and talk. It's wild to think about stuff like that now. Let's see.
So what before we go on to the surprise, because we're coming up on the end of it, why don't I talk about working with CDPR on this?
Yeah. People don't know that. Earlier today, someone asked if there was stuff from 2077 in this DLC, and there is. Go ahead, let them have it.
So the answer to the overall thought is basically this: when I created this thing, it was only for Cyberpunk up to Cyberpunk Red, which means every song has to have been released by 2045. And the first thing I did was I went and I looked at all the songs, mostly on Moro Rock, but also on a couple other stations. And I made a list of every song from 2077 that was released before on 2045 or before, because Moro Rock, for example, is an oldie station. I know it doesn't feel like it because the music's new to you, but from a 2077 perspective, it's all oldies. I mean, it'd be like no one's listening to the Beatles saying, going, "Oh, that's new, fresh stuff." They're listening to the Beatles saying, "Oh, that's a classic, that's an oldie." Same thing with Samurai. And so I did two things. First, I went to Patrick Mills over at CDPR and I said, "Okay, I have found these bands. I figured out which bands come from 2020 source material, 2013 source material. For example, Brutus Backlash, or Blood and Ice." And then I said, I don't recognize, I think it was like 3 or 4 bands. I don't recognize these. I can't find them anywhere. One of them was, in fact, a band from 2020. It's just they had changed the name. IBDY was originally Ice Boys Do Ya. And yeah, Patrick's like, that sounded stupid, so he just abbreviated. And I was like, that's fair. And then there were a couple other bands that were new. And so I said, okay, cool. I wrote up lore for all these bands using existing lore if it existed, creating new lore if it was not. Xerxes, for example, was a new band created specifically for 2077, but was an oldies band as well. And so I was like, oh, well, wouldn't it be cool if Xerxes was the first Metacorp, nomad pop star, first Rockerboy did it big. And then I did the really hard thing. It was I sat down with Carrie Eurodyne, Johnny Silverhand, and Samurai. And anyone who spent any amount of time diving the lore on Samurai knows that that was a mess, because there was a question: what was Johnny's songs? What weren't Johnny's songs? When were they released? And so I sat down and I worked out a release schedule, what the names of the songs were. In some cases, it was based on existing lore. Like I knew Johnny song names, I knew album names, I knew Samurai song names, album names, I knew Carrie. In some cases, I made up a couple, which was fun. And then I was like, okay, here's when they came out. And then Patrick and I sat down and said, okay, what do we do about the fact that sometimes they say Johnny songs are samurai songs? And we decided that Johnny has a habit of re-recording samurai songs with completely new lyrics, new arrangements. He's like, I wasn't happy because I had to compromise for the band, so I'm going to do it my way now.
Oh, you mean Carrie?
And that
Carrie.
is...
That caught me a second. You said Johnny at first, and then you said
I
Carrie.
said Johnny.
Oh, okay, I follow now. Yeah. So he didn't dig
Johnny,
it. He wanted his shit.
For example, there is a samurai version of Chippin' In. There is a Johnny version of Chippin' In. There's a samurai version of Never Fade Away. There's a Johnny version of Never Fade Away. And so the lore is more or less fixed by this document in that case. Carrie did it once or twice too. For example, Carrie has his own version of Chippin' In. So that's the case. And I had fun because with Carrie, I was able to draw a little bit from Cyber Generation too, which was a lot of fun to bring some Cyber Generation lore into this. Also, there is a tribute to Carrie's daughter in one of Carrie's albums.
I want to point something out about how that kind of re-recording process does happen, and it happens a lot in the music business, especially when there's beef. I'm gonna share some really obscure shit here. So, there was a songwriter that was responsible for Meat Loaf becoming as big as he was. He wrote pretty much his first initial big hits, 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad, I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That. There was a third song that Meat Loaf was supposed to put, I think it was on Bat Out of Hell 3, that it was literally looked at by Andrew Lloyd Webber and declared one of the best songs ever written. It was blown up and all that. And then Meat Loaf and the songwriter got into a beef over it. And so the songwriter basically told Meat Loaf, no, fuck you, made a band for the single song to be recorded so Meat Loaf couldn't touch it. He refused to hand him the words, and this went on so long that eventually, to spite Meat Loaf again, he gave it to Celine Dion to sing, who made it a huge, huge hit. I wonder if you know which song I'm talking about now. And no, it wasn't, My Heart Will Go On. She only sang that once and hated that song. Meat Loaf still wanted to sing this song. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, this is an interesting story. This is an interesting story how it comes back around, because I see the time. Basically, the beef went on for another 30 years until the songwriter, his name still escapes me, I believe he was becoming ill. He regretted the beef, and they reconciled by him doing one thing. There's a knock on Meat Loaf's door, he opens it, and there is just straight up the song in script form right there on his doorstep, nothing else. Was it? Oh, God. I want to say his name, but if I say it, it's either right or it's the actor who played the Hulk, so I'm not going to chance that. But yeah, the song was then performed by Meat Loaf and oh God, is she Norwegian? A Norwegian singer who used to be part of a band called M2M, who actually sang the theme song for the first Pokemon movie. But it was a song called, oh God, It's All Coming Back to Me Now is the song. That song has a history. And when Meat Loaf finally got to sing it, he belted it. Like, they killed it. Really good song. Long song. Very dramatic song. So be ready if you ever listen. So those kind of re-recordings and weirdness and stuff will happen. So hearing that's what happened with Johnny's music and Carrie and Samurai, it makes total sense when you really dig into the absolute lunacy that is the music business. I mean, you never know when something will pop up and just, suddenly, boom, it's on your doorstep and you didn't expect it. Just snuck right up on you.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the story. If you hear a song and it's, you're like, well, is that a Samurai song or a Johnny Silverhand song? The answer is, who knows? It could be a Samurai song, could be a Johnny song, and there's a decent chance it is mislabeled as one or the other because it got confusing after a while.
Mm-hmm. So,
especially since Johnny was a lead singer on both.
Speaking of sneaking around about stuff, should we just go ahead and show them? I mean,
yes, we have
we've
talked
hit it
about.
long
Unless
enough.
there are any other. Wait, are there any other questions?
Any other questions about this DLC before we move on to the announcements? Because for Gen Con, we have big things coming. But there's stuff we have to take care of before Gen Con so you guys have something to chew on.
Yes, we are. Yeah. We are giving you something fun now, so we get it out of the way. So because I need to get things out of the way so I can focus on Gen Con.
Yeah, because I've been hiding this all day too. I mean, you snuck this out on me the whole time. I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep going with this. This is fun. Let's see here. No, I don't see any. Oh wait. From Jobar, how does the version of chipping in from the 2020 rulebook fit into things? Is that the original Samurai version? Then Carrie and Johnny each did their own, and those are the recorded version in 2077?
That is a great question, and I don't want to give you the wrong answer. The answer is the 2077 version is one version sung by Johnny or Samurai, or either in a solo career or with Samurai. The version with the lyrics in the core rulebook, which we did change. So my thought is that the original version is the original Samurai. The one from 2020 is the original Samurai version, which Carrie then re-recorded later because he was upset because Johnny re-recorded it with new lyrics, which are what you hear in 2077. So the version you hear sung by Johnny on Moral Rock Radio is the Johnny Silverhand version, misattributed to Samurai. The version you hear Carrie singing is the original, which was actually sung by Samurai.
People only knew how on brand that is for music business. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's and then
Carrie
was like, "Why did you change that?" So he re-recorded. He did a cover of the Samurai version. That's it. That is my answer currently. I will say that it's possible I have it backwards, but I don't think so.
Yeah, that was a good question. I'm happy we took
Johnny gets petty.
He does. He seems like a sassy bitch.
Yeah, and Carrie can be a little petty. And they just like lovers do. They fight a lot.
For the record, I'm not a Johnny Silverhand fan. Never have been. I can't stand the guy.
Oh, I think there are more interesting musical artists in the Cyberpunk universe, but I get it. I get people. I understand the charisma of him, and he certainly captured people's imaginations, and I have no problem with that. I think personally, you should go check out Dusty Fields and his great protest rock, because no, actually, don't check out Dusty Fields. He's terrible.
So a couple questions now. Ika Pike wants to know, was curious if Yankee and the Brave was pre-2077 or was it brand new? You're gonna have to crack open you're gonna have to crack open that spreadsheet after all.
Yankee and the Brave?
Kala, you say leave Johnny alone. No. When I did my first playthrough of 2077, I treated Johnny like a parasite. I was not nice to him. Whenever Vic said I would eventually start to agree with him and my views would align with his because he was taking my mind over, I'm like, all right, so that means I must resist him. Yeah, go ahead.
Yankee and the Brave, Run the Jewels. Yeah. No, that is a post-2045 band.
Post-2045 Post-2045 band. Okay.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, if they are not in this DLC and they are in 2077, they are a post-2045 band.
Mm-hmm. Because we only go up to 2045 with this. While there is artists from 2077 in it, we only go up to 2045 because that is the setting.
Yes.
Now let's see here. Let's see. Al says Johnny's an egocentric brat. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Nicholas actually wants to know, for the German titles, did you use Google or did you get an intern who's able to speak it?
Sorry, repeat that?
They want to know if we used Google Translate for the German titles or if we just had someone who speak it share it for us.
No. Almost every German title is a tribute to a German something.
Mm-hmm. Like with the magazines.
So, with the magazines. So no, I did not reference anyone specifically. Though I probably could have. There's a few people I know who speak German, but it's more along the lines of I went and found German terms related to the music scene and use those to some degree or another.
Now, this is actually a very interesting question.
I think there's one band, and all their song titles are old German punk clubs.
I want to end with this question before we move on to the next thing. What is the oldest song in the DLC? When that question got asked, I'm like, ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good question.
I know, man. Like the moment I heard that, I was like, ooh.
I want to say, just a second.
I'm digging, because I'm pretty sure I saw like a 20. I think there was a 20. I think it was a. I think I have one here. I'm going to see which one you say, because I think I got you.
Okay.
I know it's. I'm not going to say which. I want to see what you find. I think I found it. Correction, chat.
Okay,
I think we found it.
Tell me what you think it is.
Sign of the Times and Revelation by Watchman, Christian rock.
What year is that?
1999.
1993, Rockerboy Bloom, the album by James Rockerboy Manson.
Fuck. All right. Yep, you got me. You got me. And of course it's Rockerboy Manson. God damn it.
Yeah, I believe that is the oldest.
You said 93?
In here, there are 12 songs released in the 1990s.
I'm on Stormwriter right now.
98, 95, 93.
I got a 96
Yeah, Rockerboy
here.
Manson. Rockerboy Manson's the oldest of them. There were 5 songs, I believe, that may have technically qualified for being older, but I did not include them because they were all just literally just parodies of existing, like bad parodies of existing artists. This was in Home and the Brave. It was like, these were the songs that were at the top of the chart 20 years ago, and it was like the Dead Clintons. And obviously it was a riff on the Dead Kennedys. And it made no sense because in the Cyberpunk universe, Clinton was never president.
Yeah.
So I left them out because I thought that was more of an out of character joke than anything. But yes, Rockerboy Manson's album is first album is the oldest piece of music in this DLC.
Chad is seeing me scan the DLC, hoping to beat you, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Not with Manson. I think you got me beat with that.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure there's no one else. There's a couple that are close. You are right. The Watchmen did release in 1999, and there's like I think 1 or 2 that are 95.
Yeah, I found like Bum's Rush from Rockerboy Manson again, and
and The Little Feels released Sex with My Ex in 1995.
Yeah, I think that's sweet. It's
and in 2020 because literally they just released the same album re-recorded with
You hid the heck out of that. That was hard to find in the first place.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on.
Yes.
I've made it very clear for a long time that I want this YouTube channel and our website to be the main sources of all news for us. Even over the Discord. I love y'all on my Discord, but YouTube is such a wonderful, centric place that is stable. We'll call it stable. As stable as YouTube can be. But today, well, like we said, we have a lot we have to get done before Gen Con. And so we went ahead and took care of something early. So we're just going to go ahead and admit that it was a busy weekend. And like I said, Jay kind of snuck up out of nowhere and popped this up on me. So we're actually a little proud to introduce right now Going Quiet. Tools for Heists, Cons, and Other Stealth Play as the July 2025 DLC. And I'm going to let you describe it, Jay, because I'm going to go hit the button and release this right now as you're describing what this is.
Right now.
I'm going to hit the button.
Give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me
open it up. Pop it open. They're all going to start refreshing the website now. You know, people in here.
So,
yeah, we were sneaky with this. Legit sneaky because it was a sneaky DLC. Come on.
It's a sneaky DLC. So this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now. Ever since we wrote, spoiler, if you haven't read or played Hope Reborn, there is a heist mission in there. A leverage style, Ocean's 11 style heist. And I've been wanting to do this DLC for a while. Mm-hmm. So first, it includes Flash of Luck. So if you do not own Hope Reborn, the flashback rules that we introduced there are included in this, so you can have that for free. Congratulations. Then it includes, I'm going to skip, that's at the beginning. It's a 3-part DLC. At the end, It includes cool new gear, like branded jumpsuits, like if you want a janitor's jumpsuit for Arasaka. It talks about how to get it and how much it costs. We have handprint gloves, which is a real skin glove you pull over your hand, which has a handprint and fingerprints for a specific target. Like you get somebody's handprint, and then you have a tech print you this glove. We have laser and parabolic microphone. Yeah, we have laser and parabolic microphones. We have the ghost suit, which is a camouflage suit, equivalent to the camouflage plating from FPCs have. It is expensive. It is hard to get.
People now will understand why I was really doing Ghost in the Shell gifts for the past 4 days.
Yep. We have a disguise kit. We have a translation chip, which will do a lot like what you see in 2077. We have the Zetatech Tank Commander headset, which is a sub-vocal throat mic combined with a particularly quiet sub. I don't think we actually say it, but it's a what are those things called, Rob, that you put in to vibrate your bones?
Say one more time. In a what? I did not catch that last word.
The things that vibrate your bones when you put them in your ears.
Oh, bone conductors.
And they're bone conductors, so they are completely silent things. So we have a bunch of new
really
gear.
Neat. I should tell you
and
about.
And then in the middle section is rules for stealth net running.
Yes, you guys finally get what you're asking for. You get your stealth net running. It's there.
I apologize. We do agree this should have been given to you sooner, but it is here now. Basically, you go in, you make an interface check, you jack in quietly, you make an interface check against all watchers. Watchers are defined as anything with an interface skill in the net architecture. So demons, other net runners, other things, entities which may have the interface ability. You make it against them, your interface plus 1d10 versus their interface plus 1d10. If you beat everybody, you're in stealthy and they don't know you're there.
I want to point something out talking back on that headset. There was a piece of tech that was developed, but it never got past prototype phases. It was developed, it was at a university. It was a bit of a headset where you would have a node here, nodes on the corner of your mouth and above, and then around the headset, and it was the thought of moving your lips. It would actually translate what you were trying to mentally move your lips to do without moving your lips into text on a screen. It's really cool.
This is actually World War I tech. It's called the Tank Commander because it was originally developed for tank commanders.
I've seen these.
You couldn't hear someone over the sound of the engine, so it's on your throat, so it picks up the vibrations in your vocal cords.
Yeah, I've seen these. God, what movie have I seen that from? Like right here, I've seen them hold the. Totally, I'm holding my voice box. That's making me stop talking.
Yeah. So once you're in, if you run into a black ice, you make what's essentially a cloak check.
I'm gonna go
against a black ice perception. If you succeed, you can go past them. You don't have to slide, and they don't notice you. You make that in place of a speed check. And then if you run into a watcher, you make contested your cloak check versus their pathfinder check. And then watchers can, as a net action, whenever they on their turn, do a pulse. Essentially, they can pathfind, and if they pathfind, and you do an opposed check, your pathfinder versus their pathfinder versus your cloak, then they have a chance of saving you. So you can be there. You can be stealth. And if you are unsafely jacked out, and you stealth past black ice, that black ice cannot hit you on the way out. So there are no stealth rules. The one big caveat is once you take control of a control node, the gig's up. The system knows that someone's taking control of a control node.
So I've been hovering over the publish button. Should I go ahead and let them have it? Or should I keep teasing them? I'm enjoying this.
No.
I love hanging things over their head though, Jay. Come on. It's my one pleasure in life. All right.
Let them have it because I've got to go make dinner.
I know. So for all of you here in this stream, yes, you were the first people to see this. Good luck beating me to posting everywhere else. because I got to now go and do my rounds and do the release. But we hope you all really enjoy this one, and this keeps you good and satiated until August. No, we're not saying what's coming in August. And we look forward to seeing you all at Gen Con. We're going to be at booth 249. Yeah, 249.
Yes.
That is where we're going to be. We do not have any releases for Gen Con this year, but we do have some announcements. And we hope people really, really like what's coming, because we've been working on a few things in secret.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun there. And while I believe all our 4-hour games are taken, you may still be able to get into some of our 1-hour demo games for Cyberpunk Red, for the Mission Kit, for Fossilized Islands, and for Shadowscar. And you may also be able to go and play the first public preview of Night City Legends, which is the card game that is being worked on by our friends over at Night Shift Games.
I may even be running some, off-the-sheet games myself if I get the itch, because
no, you say that, don't, because then people can come asking you for it. Don't say that.
But you just gave me the rules I needed. I'm teasing. We'll see. Either way, guys, we'll see you all there. Button is hit. It is published. It should take a few seconds to pop up. Better pop up. And you will all be able to go in and download like a bunch of mad lads. So everybody, have yourselves a good day. I'm going to go ahead and make double sure. Come on. Why is it now fighting me? It is fighting me. 1 second, chat. I'm actually happy we did in the end release the Flash of Luck rules, because that's the one thing we never did pop out. But I'm very, very happy we wound up doing. It's a good gig.
It is.
And do you want to actually give them a little hint? Because this art is awesome, and I still was caught off guard by it. Do you want to tell them how we got that as I hit this final button?
Yep, it's an older piece. When the artists, when we did Street Stories, there's a character named John Doe who appears in it. And for some reason, I don't know the story behind it. The artist did 2 versions of John Doe. One as a blonde for the man bun, and one as a brunette with shorter hair. And we went with the brunette with shorter hair, and the man bun was still around. And so we owned it. I wanted to use it for something, and it was perfect for this. And I wrote a little story for it. So there's a little story at the beginning, which goes with this picture.
All right, y'all. There is the link in chat. Go download, go enjoy, and we will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. See you at Gen Con.
Bye, all.